Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the panelists for their time here. I know, Mr. Fitzgerald, you're busy on a case of great importance to the country and to policymakers looking for a source of a leak. Is there anything you want to tell us here this morning? No? I won't push the swearing in on you. It is absolutely staggering to me the twisted cost-benefit ratio of what Al-Qaeda pulled off on September 11th and what happened to the United States. They had 19 suicide hijackers. We lost 3,000 people. We're still mourning their deaths. It cost them slightly more than $400,000. Estimates indicate that it is probably going to cost us well over $100 billion. They continue to float and spread like mercury across a mirror all over the world. We have many of our resources, intelligence, military resources, going to two places, Iraq and Afghanistan. We need to take this enemy on and defeat this enemy. Dr. K, we've put your boss in a hot seat a couple times, asking him some tough questions about accountability. I want to ask you some of those questions. You were at the CTC in a very critical time during the last 7 years. One, when we had an opportunity to get some of these terrorists in Kuala Lumpur and Bangkok, and we didn't get them. I want to ask you specifically about two myths that have been out there in terms of my take on this. One, that we didn't have enough knowledge about a domestic attack, that we didn't think it was likely, and two, that Al-Qaeda had compartmentalized this information and held it very, very close. In our staff statement 16, we say the following, and I want you to comment on it, Dr. K. Quote, according to KSM, he was widely known within Al-Qaeda to be planning some kind of an operation against the United States. Many were even aware that he'd been preparing operatives to go to the United States, as reported by a CIA source in June of 2001. Operatives to the United States in June. This is KSM, top of the rendition list for the United States, sending people to the United States. You were at CTC. Did you get that information that KSM was sending operatives to the United States for a possible domestic attack?
Not that I recall.
Not that you recall. So you are, your title is, and I'm trying to understand it, is the Chief of the Strategic Terrorism Assessments Alternative Analysis Group, Office of Terrorism Analysis at the DCI Counterterrorism Center at CTC.
Correct.
So CTC, the chief here, does not receive any type of information in June, a cable or information coming in?
First of all, I'm not the chief of CTC.
Okay.
I'm one unit within...
Chief of Strategic Terrorism Assessments Alternative Analysis Group.
Right.
Okay.
And I can't comment on what other people within the center might have received, but I myself did not.
So you did not receive any kind of a cable or warning or message or anything else talking about KSM possibly sending in operatives to the United States?
That's correct.
And you're categorically saying you don't remember it, you don't recall it, or you didn't receive you didn't see it?
I don't recall ever receiving such information.
Well, we'll get more into this maybe with Mr. Davis on the next panel as we drill down here a little bit more into what the CIA did know and maybe what should have been shared in different departments there. Let me ask you a question about human intelligence. Mr. Tennant said to us about a month ago that we needed to rebuild human intelligence. I think he's absolutely right. He said it will take us 5 more years. We don't have 5 minutes, 5 days. We need to do it now. Mr. Fitzgerald has pointed out in his statement very eloquently about a man by the name of Ali Mohammed, who helped train the top leadership for al-Qaeda on all kinds of security, codes, ciphers, surveillance. He comes to the United States and applies for jobs as an FBI translator and at a defense contractor. Now, they seek to penetrate us. We have not done a very good job penetrating them. Mr. Fitzgerald and then Ms. Doran and Dr. K, how do we rebuild this human intelligence that we vitally need in this country with diversity and language skills and capabilities, so we are going after them and getting them?
That's not my area of expertise, but I'll tell you the hard part is we need it badly, but the hard part for Dr. K and his folks is we have to watch out that the people who don't apply for the jobs as translators and don't walk in the door to be human sources aren't working for al-Qaeda. One of the classic intelligence techniques is to people that come in and pretend to work for you and gather information and feed it back. And we've seen indications that al-Qaeda will do that. So the hard part for us is to make sure we build up our human source capability, but we have to choose human sources very wisely so that they gather for us, that they don't walk in and by our questions learn from us what we're interested in, what we know and what we don't know. And that's the real challenge that faces us.
Thank you. Dr. K?
I don't have much to say. I mean, I trust what the director said implicitly in terms of his assessment of how long it would take, and I also believe that there is a program underway to accomplish that within the time frame that he's talked about. I myself am not privy to that, to what that program entails, but I know it's underway.
And Congressman, if I could...
If I could, Ms. Doran?
At my level?
Sure.
It's a fundamental...
Maybe more important at your level.
It's a fundamental part of our job. Myself and my colleagues, we all try to develop sources. We all have sources, and most of those are targeted in the United States. But there are those that we work with jointly with our partners in CIA and send overseas or work with overseas to continue to vet the information that they do have and to task them for the information we need.
And really, to put you on the spot, do you have the kind of career track and incentives and capabilities within FBI to have more people like you come in there and spend a career doing this?
I suppose there's always room for improvement, but so
That's
far,
why
so
we
good.
asked you, too.